Hi everyone, my name is Keith Brooks and this is Brooks Channel, and for today's video I'd like to talk some more about my idea for a comic book series called Outcasts. Now I've talked about this in a few other videos, the first of which covered the basic concept of the story, then 3 others were dedicated to discussing the prologue arc, and the previous video I made for the series was me talking about the different kinds of power systems, like abilities people can use. And for this one, I'm going to be discussing and going into further detail about 4 of the main protagonists. There are actually supposed to be 6, but I'm still fleshing out the last 2. So we'll be focusing on the first 4. Alright, and I'll be going by an order of when they appear. Introduced and all that. The first of which is named Joey Knight. His name comes from the first and last name of 2 of my closest friends growing up. Now, Joey, I would describe him a bit as a socially awkward weirdo. Like, he has a couple of weird habits. The first of which is that he says some words kind of weird. Like, he'll say, instead of hello, he'll say halo, or okay as okay, and when he asks what someone's doing, he'll say, what you doing? Things like that. He also has a bad habit of sneaking up behind people and just shouting, hi, or what you doing? And kind of startles them, gets them kind of annoyed at him. Yeah, he'll basically apologize for it though, but a lot of times he can't help himself. And to top it off, he also has a habit of running upstairs on all 4s like an animal. Yeah, a few weird quirks. He also may or may not be on the lower end of the spectrum, something I'm playing around with. But yeah, because of all those little habits and quirks he has, most kids don't really want to be around him or do anything with him, which leaves him feeling a bit alone, obviously. And his parents don't really know what to do to help him, or even how to deal with him. So most of the time they'll just have him go outside and play when it's not time to eat or when he's out of school. Yeah, they don't like hate him or dislike him or anything. They just don't know how to help him. And I guess never bothered to learn. So yeah, Joey's mostly on his own until he meets the other 3 protagonists. Not long after. Let's see. And as for what abilities he has, it's meant to be a bit of a mystery. Like, his powers are different than pretty much every other character in the series. He learns more about what he can do with them as the story goes along. The first thing he's able to do is basically turn his hands into big boxing gloves. Yeah, with them he can punch like way harder than he could normally. He'd be like around 5 times harder. And he can also shoot them off his wrist like a rocket. Then it starts flying off to wherever he aimed his fist at. And then explodes on contact. And then about 3 seconds later, his hand will just poof back onto his arm in a puff of smoke. Might be different colors each time. So yeah. Yeah, part of Joey's motivation for when him and the others go out and just leave town in general, one of the things he wants to do is try to figure out more about his powers. What they are, what he can do with them, and if there's anyone else with those kind of abilities. Yeah. That becomes like one of his 2 big motivations. Yep. And around the time that power is introduced is when he meets the first of his friends, and the second of the main protagonists, named Mitch Mason. Basically the group's unofficial leader. Now, he's basically a delinquent, kind of a troublemaker. Like, he gets into fights with other kids, like, tends to shoplift, does underage drinking, tends to be a creep spying on girls in, like, changing rooms and locker rooms and that stuff. And on rare occasions, when he's successful, ends up getting chased out of the girl's house by her parents. Yeah, he's one of those kind of kids. But also pretty loyal to the people that are closest to him. And, like, he'll take the fall for certain things that they did. Like, when Joey ends up accidentally showing his powers to Mitch for the first time, ends up blasting a big hole in his fence. And when they get busted, Mitch ends up taking the heat for it. Yeah, I mentioned that when I was covering the prologue arc. That's just for those who haven't seen it. But yeah. Let's see. Yeah. What else should I cover? Alright. So I'm still trying to get my thoughts together. It was kind of spur of the moment thing. Yeah. And Mitch, well, out of all of the main protagonists, he's the only one without any powers. So instead, he fights with guns. In the prologue arc, he has a BB gun that he bought with his allowance in secret. And as he gets older, like when the story officially begins, he ends up getting a regular pistol from someone that owed him a favor. And over the course of the series, he'll get other types of guns, more special ones, different kinds of equipment to make up for his lack of powers. And also, like, hone his hand-to-hand fighting skills. Yeah, something like that. His big motivation for setting out of their hometown is basically to become a legendary heroic adventurer. Like the heroes in the stories he would read about and watch on TV when his dad wasn't making him like study or like business and stuff to take over the family business. So they own like a bunch of different little stores and gas stations and other different types of shops around the area as in and around town. And basically Mitch's dad is making him like study to take it over, and Mitch doesn't want to do that. Just wants to go out and basically be a hero. Something his dad discourages. One, because he thinks it's like just stupid, like he's just having his head in the clouds, and telling him he'll just get himself killed since he doesn't have any powers. There's a world full of people that can use magic, superhuman strength, and psychic powers, and all that stuff. Thinking Mitch will just get himself killed. Well, when around the hometown, he already has his future set up for him. Yeah. Mitch is more of a free spirit type. Yeah. So that's basically why he wants to leave town. And after them, like the third of the protagonists is Jay, who is basically, I would describe him as someone who has a bit of an anger problem. Like, he gets made fun of a lot, mostly for his weight, because he's pretty heavy, especially around his gut. I'd say he's somewhere over, give or take, 230 pounds. But at the same time, he's also really strong, like the power fighter of the group. He's got a good amount of muscle in his arms and legs. And, let's see, he also has superhuman strength, and can, like, enhance that and other physical skills by eating and drinking certain things. Yeah, I've covered this in the first Outcast video, but this is just a refresher. Yeah. Like, eating meat will make him even stronger than he normally is. It's called protein strength. Then there is calcium armor, which is when he drinks a bunch of milk and it puts armor around his bones. Makes him more resistant to pain and injuries. Then there's what's called sugar rush, which basically involves him eating or drinking something really sugary, and it makes him move like twice as fast as he normally could. The downside is that when that one wears off, he moves slow and sluggish for twice as long. Then, let's see, if he drinks like clean or purified water, Jay can basically heal himself, like minor wounds, and also get rid of different toxins or poisons from his body. And he can also improve his eyesight a bit by eating carrots, like seeing further distances or better in the dark for a short time. That's probably the one he'll use the least amount of. But yeah. And it's... let's see, let me think here. Yeah, the effects are, like, stronger when the stuff he's eating or drinking is something that's been, like, cooked really good. It is part of the reason he takes up cooking from his, like, mentor and adoptive father, who has the same powers that Jay does. I'm thinking they'll both end up having the third power, because superhumans can have 3. But I'm still working out what each of theirs would be, like the third and final one for them. So yeah, Jay basically wants to be like him, the mentor, and open up his own restaurant to become the head chef of it. Which the mentor basically encourages, and even gets him set up to get started on it. Yeah, let's see. Now, Jay's first bit of how he wants to get started is honing his cooking skills, learning how to make different kinds of dishes. He is then perfect ones he's already learned. Intending to fill a whole notebook full of no less than 100 different recipes. Yeah. His is probably the hardest ones for me to write for, because I'm not much of a cook, I'm like novice with that. So I'd probably need to get some outside help for him. Yeah. As I mentioned, Jay has a bit of an anger problem. Like, he tends to lash out when people tend to get up in his face or insult him and stuff. Or disrespect, like, food and cooking in general. Like, wasting food, like, bad-mouthing someone's cooking, like, for no reason, things like that. He also has a bad case of road rage, but that's something I'll cover another time. But yeah, he's got some temper problems he needs to get under control. Then the fourth and final of the 4 main protagonists is named Woody Johnson Jr. Now, he is basically really short, like around 4.5 feet, which is like half the reason he's like considered an outcast by the other kids in town. The other is that he uses magic, which, as I've covered in previous videos, involves using 8 different elements, like creating or manipulating them. That's earth, fire, wind, water, lightning, ice, light, and dark types of magic. Yeah. And the town that Woody and the other kids live in, magic is not very accepted, considered abnormal. So a lot of the magic users in town are discriminated against, and overall not treated very good. Let's see. Yeah. Woody ends up still wanting to learn to use magic, learns from his dad, who is one of the most powerful characters in the series. Is basically like the second in command of the town's own mage guild. I'm still working out the name for it, but he was one of the founding members, hoping to help make things better for the magic users in town. And Woody basically wants to help him with that, like make magic more accepted by everyone else, or as many people as he can. Though he has a bit of a slow start learning. I mean, he's only 7 during the prologue, so yeah. But as the series officially starts, it's like 7 years after the prologue, he's already gotten really good at it. Being able to shoot big blasts of water from his hands, like blinding flashes of light, like put superpowered gusts of wind around his legs so he can move really fast or jump real high, things like that. Yeah, magic is basically his biggest hobby. The second one would be dancing. Like, he's a dancer. And as the series goes on and he gets better at fighting, Woody would incorporate dance moves into his, like, using his magic, combine them together. Maybe like that dance fighting style. I'm still working that part out. Yeah, that covers, like, most of personalities and motivations. Like, Joey is trying to find out about his powers. Mitch wants to become a legendary hero. Jay wants to get his cooking skills better to open his own restaurant. And Woody wants to make magic more accepted in the world as a whole. Now, let's see. Appearance-wise, I'm gonna start going about a little more what they look like. As for Joey, when the series officially starts, he would be around 15 years old. He would be a bit on the scrawny side. Not like exaggeratively, but there's not a lot of meat on his bones either. He would be around maybe 5'5", has short brown hair and light brown eyes. His main outfit would be a purple t-shirt, and when on black in the chest area would say "Surrender the cake." He likes cake. And come on, other things. Then he'd also have a pair of knee-high black shorts, some white sneakers, and a black book bag that he carries some of his stuff around. It's pretty simple. Like, the most noteworthy would be little funny phrases on his shirt. Like, another one would be a green t-shirt with an arrow pointing up, and beneath it would say "Who farted?" Simple little gag. Now, as for Mitch, he would be around 16 at the start of, like, the official start of the series. He would have, like, red hair that he spikes with hair gel, not like the exaggerative, like, stereotypical anime style, just gelled hair. He would have, like, dark green eyes, and his outfit would consist of a white t-shirt with a brown sleeveless vest, a pair of blue jeans with a whip in the left knee, some black boots, and then a brown knapsack he keeps strapped to his left shoulder, and a gun holster at his right hip, because he'd be right-handed. Let's see. He'd also have a decent amount of muscle on him. Nothing exaggerative, but enough to know that he hits the weights. Like, that you can tell he hits the weights, I mean. Yeah. Let's see. And as for Jay, he would also be 16 years old. Maybe like a month or two younger than Mitch. He would have black hair and blue eyes. And like I said, he's a bit on the heavy side around his gut, with a good amount of muscle in his arms and legs. Let's see. Now, I'm not really sure about what kind of outfit he'd wear, like color-wise, but he'd probably get maybe like a size larger for his shirt and pants, because he likes to have extra room. Like, he really likes to be comfortable. Yeah. It would probably be pretty simplistic, too. Now, as for Woody, as I mentioned, he would be pretty short, like around 4.5 feet. He'd also would be black, and have black hair and hazel-colored eyes. Now, he probably dressed pretty average-looking, too. Like, maybe a red t-shirt with maybe some brown slacks or khakis. Let's see. And maybe some white tennis shoes, too. Pretty simplistic. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still working out some details on the styles, but that's basically what they'd all look like. Let's see. And yeah, that's about it. The 4 main protagonists, a bit of what they're like, what they can do, and what they look like. Sorry if I'm not that good at explaining this kind of stuff. Probably be better, like, if I just write it down sometime. Or if I can find an artist to help me get everything together. I've been asking around, but so far it's been a bit slow. I just hope I'll be able to do it one of these days. And I'm so to say, so I'm just gonna end the video here. As always, please let me know your thoughts about this war in the comments. And with that, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.